What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Let's get right into the story. If you come from a certain environment and ever been close to street life or in the field yourself, then you should already know it's a lot that comes with that lifestyle. You see a lot in the trenches, whether it be everyday activity like people trapping, trying to survive, or beefs that leads to bodies dropping, and back-to-back retaliation. That's all connected to the street life. It's also somewhere a lot of people like to forget about while they are out there doing their thing, and that's prison. Usually, that's the end game and finish line for a lot of street dudes, if they are lucky enough to stay above ground, that is. Most of us that come from that and have been out there have either been in that jam ourselves or know someone that has. It becomes normal. If you see a group of friends that's really living like that, you probably can almost bet most of them have sat in a cell before. It just comes with the territory. But we definitely don't judge. And as long as the individual serving the time doesn't have an L or life, everyone looks forward to the day they come home to celebrate and show them some love. But the thing about prison is it can definitely change you. Sometimes for the greater good and sometimes for the worse. Sitting in that cell can mess with your mind, make you paranoid, even angry. Especially if you feel like the outside world is passing you by or your girl and homies are not being solid. It's a dark and lonely place. And sometimes, even when somebody is released, they bring that energy outside with them. And depending on the circumstances, certain actions can put you right back behind that wall. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Atlanta, Georgia, to discuss a case of a man first day home from prison that ended with him snaking his homie. Back in 2017, 29-year-old Jalal Ross Bayah was navigating life in the streets of Atlanta. The man had been through a lot early on and wasn't a stranger to street life. But now getting older, having a daughter, he had begun to try to change his life for the better. He became a major part of Ben Broke LLC, a movement that started to remind people just because they come from certain circumstances and environments don't mean they can't elevate and definitely still do great things. The movement was all about success and change and making that the new normal in the trenches. Jalal pushed and stood on that movement. Even though changing for the better, he didn't judge his homies still stuck in a certain mindset or the ones who were still in that jam, including his childhood friend at the time, 32-year-old David Robinson. David had a troubled past and a lot of run-ins with police, and he was currently serving 8 years for armed robbery, a charge he had caught back in 2007. But by this time in 2017, he was on his way back to the streets. Excited to reconnect with his mans and show him some love, Jalal had made plans for when his homie came home. Finally, on October 14th, 2017, David was released. After seeing his peoples, the next person who pulled up on him was Jalal. He had another one of their homies in the car, who we will call Tay for the sake of this story. As they welcomed David home, they were smoking, drinking, and sliding through the city. It was only right, fresh out, they took David to see some girls. They landed at the strip club, Peaches of Atlanta, located on David Abernathy Boulevard. When the men first pulled up, they sat in the whip for a minute and chopped it up, catching David up on everything he missed and that was going on. Being in the South, where either everybody had their concealed carry permit or either had a gun, Jalal had heads on him as well for protection, knowing how the clubs get in his city. Somewhere in the conversation before going in the club, there was a dispute between David and Jalal. As the conversation got more heated, both him and Tay tried to calm David down, but he wasn't trying to hear it and reached for Jalal's gun. He grabbed it and started shooting in the car. He aimed at Jalal, hitting him 2 times, once in the neck and once above his eye. Tay jumped out the whip and started running, as David shot at him as well, but he missed. He then tried to run and hop a gate, but club security grabbed him and restricted him, waiting for Atlanta police to show up. Once they responded to the scene, they found Jalal hit multiple times with his own gun, and unfortunately, he would pass away from his injuries. Tay told police they picked up David to hit the club since it was his first day home, but after smoking and drinking, the man started geeking. They felt like he was acting weird. That's when him and Jalal got into a dispute and he grabbed his gun, but he never stated what the original argument was about. Just hours after being released from prison, David was taken into custody, charged with first-degree murder of his homie. Jalal's family were heartbroken. They felt the man, who they stated had a good heart, was snaked by somebody he trusted and knew since childhood and was trying to show love to. The Been Broke Before movement spoke out on his impact to the brand and how much he stood for everything they represented. But his daughter would be the person really affected, as her father was now gone. David never told police what the argument was about, and as the case made its way to trial, it wasn't much his lawyer could do. Caught on camera with multiple witnesses and already being a career criminal, he was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to life in prison back in 2019. Even during that day, it never came out what the dispute between the friends was all about. Rest in peace to Jalal. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. I don't know why David snapped that day. It's probably deeper than we ever know. But I do know the feeling of showing love and being loyal to somebody you haven't seen in years. Whether prison kept us away or zip codes. We always want to hold on to memories as people and remember individuals, how we last seen them or how we want to remember them. But the biggest separation of relationships is time. As time goes on, every day that passes, you really don't know that person no more. You don't know what they have been through that could have changed their mind and outlook on life. Even the way they view their friends, especially in prison. David could have felt nobody was looking out for him while he was in there, or something else. I won't speculate. But these kind of feelings, for some, leave once they cross that gate into the free world, while others hold on to them grudges for years. But it's crazy. Bro was only free a few hours and went right back and caught a life sentence. Almost like he never wanted to be back in the street, like he was institutionalized. But I'm gonna leave this one right here. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. And remember, we got to succeed, not to fail. So we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace, that man. I send my prayers to his family. Y'all excuse me on this one. I'm a little bit under the weather if my voice sounded a little shaky. But I definitely appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of Hood Tales. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.